Hello everyone, and welcome back to Daily English Voices. I'm Mia, and I'm truly glad you're here with me today. If you're new to this channel, we help you improve your English every day with real conversations, simple stories, and useful topics you can use in daily life. In this episode, we're going to talk about something we all face, stress. We'll explore what stress feels like, how to notice it early, and many gentle, practical ways to respond, ways I use in my own life with my family and friends. As you listen, you'll hear clear English, natural phrases, and real stories. You can pause anytime, repeat sentences, and practice with me. Ready? Let's begin. Another strategy that helps me again and again is writing. I always keep a small notebook in my bag, and when I feel overwhelmed, I write exactly what is bothering me. I don't try to write beautifully. I write honestly. Sometimes I ask myself simple questions on paper. What is making me feel this way? Can I do something about it right now? If not, what is a small step I can take? Last month I was worried about a family trip to visit my husband's parents. I didn't know how we would manage the kids, the travel, the schedules. I opened my notebook, listed each worry, and then created a small plan. We decided what to pack, when to leave, and who would handle which tasks. The worries didn't disappear immediately, but they became smaller and more organized, like puzzles I could solve one piece at a time. Sometimes stress grows louder when the world around me is noisy or when technology isn't cooperating. A few days ago my computer was acting up and my work wouldn't save. I was frustrated, and everything felt wrong. I told my son, Daniel, I need 10 minutes, put on my shoes, and walked to the nearby park. The trees were moving gently in the breeze. I heard birds. I felt the air on my face. I didn't do a long workout, I just walked slowly and looked around. When I came back, I still had work to do, but my mind was steadier. Nature has a quiet way of pressing the reset button for our emotions. Talking to someone I trust also changes how stress feels. When I talk with my husband, Adam, he doesn't always try to fix the problem. He listens. He asks simple questions. He gives me space to say everything out loud. One evening I told him about a difficult situation at work. I didn't expect a solution during dinner, I just wanted to share the weight. By the time we finished eating, I felt lighter because sometimes stress needs a witness more than advice. I learn a lot from people around me. My neighbor, Mr. Thomas, used to be a school principal. One afternoon I saw him sitting on a bench outside our building, very calm, like a quiet lake. I asked, Mr. Thomas, how do you stay so steady? He smiled and said, I used to have very stressful years. I learned that most things pass if you take them one step at a time. He told me he kept a simple habit. Each morning he chose 3 things, just 3, that he would do that day to reduce stress. Not 10. Not everything. Just 3. He said that keeping the list small helped him move forward without feeling trapped by pressure. That idea stayed with me. When I'm overwhelmed, I choose 3 important actions and let the rest wait. Worry often lives in the future. Our minds ask questions like, what if I fail? Or, what if everything goes wrong? When that happens, I practice coming back to the present moment. I ask, what can I do now? One Saturday I had a long list: groceries, cleaning, helping Daniel with homework. I felt frozen because I was thinking of everything at once. I stopped, looked around the kitchen, and decided to start with one small action: sweeping the floor. That simple movement was like a key. After the kitchen, I was ready for the next thing, and then the next. Stress loosens its grip when we focus on one step we can take today. My cousin James drives for a living and spends hours in traffic. I asked him how he stays calm when the road is full and nothing is moving. He said, "I can't change traffic, but I can change what I do at red lights." He uses each red light as a signal to relax. He takes one slow breath and thinks of one thing he's grateful for. It's not magic, but it changes his state. Gratitude is powerful like that. I've started writing 3 things I'm thankful for every night before bed. Some days the list is simple: a clean kitchen, a kind message from a friend, Lily's laughter. Writing those small lights helps me see the day differently. Sleep and water sound boring, but they are quiet heroes when it comes to stress. When I don't sleep well, I get upset more easily. I try to go to bed at the same time, keep my phone away, and avoid too much tea late at night. One week I stayed up late answering emails and felt slow and moody the next day. I learned my lesson. Hydration matters, too. If I forget to drink water and only have coffee or tea, I feel tired and tense. Now I keep a bottle on my desk and sip during the day. Last Thursday I had a headache and couldn't think clearly. After 2 glasses of water, my body softened, and the fog lifted. Another practice that brings calm is helping someone else. It sounds strange, but it really works. Last week my friend Sarah called because she was struggling to manage her home and her job. I listened, shared a few small tips, and made her laugh. After the call, I noticed my own stress had dropped. Helping someone reminded me I'm not alone and that I have something to give, even on heavy days. The same thing happened at home when Lily lost her drawing book and started crying. We looked together under the sofa, behind the shelf, finally under her bed. When I handed it to her, her smile came back instantly. Moments like that remind me that stress often melts with love, attention, and patience. Cooking can be a kind of gentle meditation. Last Sunday I was tired, but I chopped carrots and stirred a pot of soup slowly. I focused on the smell, the sound, the rhythm of the spoon. Doing one thing with attention can turn a busy mind into a quiet one. And of course, for me, prayer helps most. When everything feels too heavy, I stop, close my eyes, and ask for peace in my heart. That quiet time reminds me I don't have to carry everything by myself. My cousin James gave me one more tip about calm in hard places: choose your signal. For him it's the red light. For you it might be a doorbell, a phone notification, or even the kettle boiling. Use it as a reminder to breathe and notice one good thing. Small anchors like these help us return to ourselves many times a day. Let's talk about boundaries, the power of saying no. A few months ago a friend invited me to help with a local event. I wanted to say yes, but I knew I was already tired. I said, "I'd love to, but I need to rest this week." It wasn't easy, but it protected my energy and prevented extra stress. Our time and attention are precious. When we take on too much, our kindness gets thinner. Saying no to a few things often means saying a better yes to the people and tasks that matter most. Another way to shrink stress is to connect what we do to a purpose. My friend Emily is a nurse, and her job is intense. I asked how she keeps going on the hardest days. She said, "I remind myself I'm doing something meaningful. It's hard, but I know I'm helping someone." That thought gives her strength. Purpose doesn't erase stress, but it gives it context. It reminds us why we're trying in the first place. Nature heals in small, ordinary ways. I don't always have time for a long hike, but I can water the plants on the balcony, pull a few weeds in the garden, or sit by a window with a green view. Even if you live in an apartment, a small pot of herbs on the windowsill can feel like a tiny forest in your home. Watching something grow teaches patience, and patience is a soft medicine for the nervous system. When the house is chaotic, I break big jobs into small steps. After a family gathering, our living room can look like a storm passed through. Instead of saying, "I have to clean the whole house," I set a 10-minute timer and choose one area. When the timer rings, I decide whether to stop or set another 10 minutes. 10 minutes is short enough to start and long enough to see a little progress. Progress creates energy, energy reduces stress. Parenting constantly teaches me about calm. One evening Daniel spilled juice on the carpet. I was tired and my first impulse was to shout. Instead, I took one deep breath and said, "Let's clean it together." He brought a towel, and we worked side by side. We finished quickly and both felt better. Later, at a crowded store, I saw Daniel getting tense. We moved to a quiet corner and took 3 slow breaths together. These small moments show our children how to handle big feelings, and they remind us, too. Community matters. My friend Rachel has 3 children, a part-time job, and an elderly mother to care for. That's a lot. Some days she just wants to cry. We talk on the phone for a few minutes, and she says it helps to feel understood. Stress shrinks when it's shared. Last winter, when the kids were home because of the weather and our heater was struggling, I felt my mind spinning. I closed the bedroom door, sat on the edge of the bed, and breathed. After a few minutes, I called the repair service, made warm soup, and the day moved forward. A pause before action can save a whole afternoon. My friend Mark works in construction and used to shout when things went wrong. One day the delivery truck was late and his team stood there with nothing to do. He felt the heat rising inside. Instead of yelling, he walked to a quiet corner, drank water slowly, and reminded himself, anger won't make the truck arrive faster. Later he thanked his team for their patience. That day changed his approach. Calm became a tool, not a luxury. Children are excellent teachers. One evening I couldn't find an important letter and my heartbeat got faster. Lily looked up and said, "Mama, maybe if you sit down, your brain will remember." I smiled, sat quietly, and 2 minutes later I remembered the letter was in my work bag. Sometimes wisdom is that simple. Adam, my husband, is very steady under pressure. On the way to his brother's wedding, we had a flat tire and we were already late. I felt panic. Adam said, "We'll do what we can. One thing at a time." He changed the tire while I called his brother. We arrived a little late, but everything was fine. One person's calm can steady a whole situation. Let's return to gratitude for a moment. At bedtime, Adam and I often share 3 things we're thankful for. They're not always big things, sometimes it's a nice cup of tea, a neighbor's smile, or a funny comment from Daniel. These small lights help us end the day with softness instead of worry. Some families use a gratitude jar, they write good moments on small notes and read them later. It's a lovely way to collect sunshine for rainy days. Routines give structure when life feels unpredictable. My morning routine is simple: wake up, wash my face, pray, and write 3 top tasks. It doesn't solve everything, but it tells my brain, we have a plan. On stressful days, I stick to just 3 again and again. 3 tasks I will really do. 3 is heavy enough to matter and light enough to carry. Visualization can help when anxiety makes the mind run. I like to close my eyes and imagine a quiet garden or a calm beach. I picture the colors, the temperature of the air, the sound of gentle water. This is not pretend, it's practice for calm. When I open my eyes, my breath is slower. My nervous system has heard a different story and is ready to move through the day. Grounding through the senses is another gentle technique. If my thoughts are racing, I silently notice: 5 things I can see, 4 I can touch, 3 I can hear, 2 I can smell, 1 I can taste. It takes less than a minute and brings me back to the room I'm actually in. The future can wait a moment, the present has enough for now. Some people carry a small object to signal calm. My friend Sarah, a school librarian, keeps a smooth stone in her pocket. When the day gets loud, she holds it for a few seconds to return to the present. For me, it might be the handle of a favorite mug, or the feel of a warm sweater. These tiny rituals tell the body, you're safe. You can soften. Aromas can help, too: lavender for rest, peppermint for alertness, chamomile for quiet evenings. I'm careful and light with scents, especially around children, but sometimes a small breath from a bottle is enough to remind me to slow down. On evenings when Lily worries before bed, we keep the room dim, speak softly, and sometimes play a simple game like I Spy. Focusing on small details shifts attention away from big worries. Affirmations are like friendly sentences we give ourselves. I use short ones so they fit in a single breath: I am calm. I am strong. I can handle this. When stress arrives, I repeat one line quietly. It doesn't erase the challenge, it changes the way I meet it. Mrs. Brown, Daniel's teacher, told me she practices 3 deep breaths before every class. She said it makes her more patient. I believe her simple things work when we actually do them. Breathing practices don't need to be complicated. Try this with me now. Breathe in through your nose for 4 counts, hold for 4, breathe out through your mouth for 4, and rest for 4. That's called box breathing. Do it 3 times. Notice what changes. The body listens when we lead with breath. Let's talk about food for a moment: not a diet plan, just mindful eating. Stress and fast eating are best friends, they push each other forward. One afternoon I ate lunch slowly, paying attention to the color, smell, and texture. I didn't scroll my phone. That simple act turned lunch into a short break. My brain had time to pause, my body had time to receive, and I returned to work with more energy. Movement matters, even when it's gentle. Adam likes to stretch after work 10 minutes, nothing complicated. One evening I joined him. We reached toward the ceiling, rolled our shoulders, bent our knees slowly. I felt the day leave my muscles. Many of us carry stress in our bodies: jaw, shoulders, neck, lower back. A little movement invites those places to relax. Progressive muscle relaxation is helpful. Gently tense one muscle group for a few seconds, then release. Start with your feet and move upward. You'll be surprised how much softer you feel at the end. Sometimes stress grows from trying to do everything at once. On those days I make a rule: only one thing at a time. One morning I was cooking breakfast, answering emails, and getting Daniel ready for school all at the same time. My brain felt crowded. I stopped, finished cooking first, then wrote quick replies, then helped Daniel. Doing one thing well is kinder and faster than doing 3 things poorly. Support is a two-way street. My neighbor Clara often invites me for tea. We sit, talk, and laugh about small things. When I help her carry groceries or water plants, I feel grounded. When I need a kind ear, she's there for me. Stress loses power when we feel connected. There will always be days when everything seems to break at once. The internet stops just before an important call. The train is delayed. A child forgets lunch at home. When Daniel forgot his lunch, I felt stress rise. We were already late. I took a breath, made a quick sandwich, called the school, and asked them to keep it safe. One step at a time is not only a phrase, it's a path. Another friend, Michael, practices yoga and says it helps him connect his mind and body. I don't always have time for a full session, but even 2 minutes of mindful movement helps. Raise your arms slowly as you breathe in. Lower them as you breathe out. Repeat. It's simple. It works. I also keep a good things list on days that feel heavy. I write 3 lines. Daniel finished his project. The sun came out for 10 minutes. We ate dinner together. These are not big events, but they remind me the day included warmth. Mr. James, a lively neighbor in his 70s, says his garden keeps him calm. Plants are patient, he told me. They grow at the speed of peace. I love that line. When I water the basil on our balcony, I try to move at the speed of peace. Some evenings, after the dishes are done and the kids are reading, I sit on the balcony and watch the sky change color. It's a free show every day. The sky doesn't hurry. It doesn't apologize. It just keeps changing, and somehow that makes it easier for me to accept change, too. There's one more strategy one use when my thoughts won't stop. I write a letter to myself as if I were my own best friend. I write, "Dear Mia, I know today feels heavy. I know you're trying your best. Here are 3 kind things you can do tonight: drink water, stretch for 5 minutes, and sleep early. Everything else can wait." I sign it and close the notebook. It sounds simple, but kindness is a powerful medicine, especially when we offer it to ourselves. Let's bring these ideas together in a short picture of a stressful day, and how it might change. Imagine you wake up and your mind starts racing, messages to answer, meals to cook, a deadline at work. Instead of jumping out of bed immediately, you sit up, put your feet on the floor, and take 5 slow breaths. You whisper one sentence, "I can do this one step at a time." You drink a glass of water, open a window for fresh air, and make a simple list of 3 important tasks. When a problem appears, the printer jams, the bus is late, you notice the surge inside your chest. You pause for 10 seconds, relax your shoulders, and ask, "What's my next small step?" Later, you take a short walk, or you stretch for 5 minutes. You drink water again. You text a friend with a kind word, and you receive one back. In the evening, you write 3 good things from the day, however small. You sleep a little earlier. None of these actions is dramatic. But together, they build a different kind of day, one where stress doesn't decide everything. Before we close, I want to return to language, to the English you can practice with me today. Here are a few natural phrases from this episode you can repeat. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. Can we take this one step at a time? I need 10 minutes to catch my breath. I'll be right back. Thank you for listening. I don't need a solution, I just need a friendly ear. Today my top 3 tasks are: I can't control that, but I can choose how I respond. I'm grateful for. I'm doing my best, and that's enough for today. Try saying each line out loud, slowly and clearly, and use them this week. They're simple, but they're powerful, and they will make your English more natural in real-life situations. Let's finish with a short breathing practice and one gentle affirmation. If you can, place your feet on the floor, relax your shoulders, and soften your gaze. Breathe in through your nose for 4, hold for 4, breathe out through your mouth for 4, and rest for 4. Again. Once more. Now say quietly, I am calm. I am capable. I can handle this. Feel the words in your chest. Let them travel with you into the rest of your day. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this episode helped you, share it with a friend who might need a little calm today. And tell me in the comments, what is one small thing you do when you feel stressed? What is your favorite sentence to remind yourself to slow down? What are 3 good things from your day? I'm Mia, this is Daily English Voices, and I'm proud of you for showing up. Remember, you don't have to do everything at once. You just have to take the next kind step. See you in the next episode.